telling you for the last time, this is a violation of the homeowner's agreement.
Ma'am, if you look right here at the covenants, I am permitted to park my vehicle here.
The tow truck's orange light sliced through my blinds and turned my bedroom into a strobe while metal chains scraped on cold asphalt. I smelled exhaust and wet grass. My clock said 4:41 a.m. I threw on a hoodie, no shoes, and ran into the Cul De Sac. My Honda was already halfway on the lift. The driver shrugged like this was normal. The woman in the fluffy pink robe and furry slippers treated it like a show. Karen, our HOA president, held a clipboard and a steaming travel mug like props. She pointed her pen at my space and said, "This spot is seized for unpaid dues, sir, read your notice." My toes went numb while my car rolled away into the dark. By sunrise my driveway was empty and the Cul De Sac felt smaller, like someone had moved an invisible fence closer to my front door. Karen had taped a notice to the community mailbox in thick red letters, "Reserved pending collections." On top she had typed a drama title like she was making a meme. Karen seized my Cul De Sac parking for unpaid dues, had no idea I am their prosecutor. Under it she claimed I owed $320 in special assessments, plus towing, due in 72 hours. The thing is, I had already asked her about a strange late fee the week before in the cramped HOA office that smelled like stale coffee. She never looked up from her screen. She just said, "If you can't afford to live here, maybe you should move." In that moment I understood this wasn't about missed money. This was about her power. I still tried normal first. At the next board meeting, Karen sat at the end of the folding table and read a list of problem owners into the microphone while the other 4 members stared at their phones. My name came first. When I said the charges were wrong, she smirked and told the room some people think the rules don't apply to them. My phone buzzed with a text from my neighbor. "Please don't make waves, she fines people for lawn length, she'll ruin you." I looked around and saw grown adults staring at their laps like kids in trouble. Something in my chest clicked. I promised myself I would stay calm and lawful, but I would use every proper channel I knew. I walked out before the meeting ended and drove home on the temporary permit from the tow yard, already planning my next move. At home, I cleared my dining table and treated it like work. I started a case file. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I printed every late fee and warning she had ever sent me. Then I opened the state website and pulled our HOA's public filings. The file landed with 63 pages when the printer finally stopped. The budget on paper did not match the special assessments on our bills. The tow contract was signed 3 weeks before the vote she said we took. I checked police logs and saw my address again and again. I wrote a line on a yellow sheet, timeline item 1 April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. The simple law is this: an HOA cannot invent dues and seize property without a fair hearing. Instead of screaming online, I set a quiet trap. I mailed the board a certified letter, as a private citizen, demanding a full accounting and a hearing under our bylaws by May 3, 2024 at 9:00 p.m. I already knew she would ignore it. What she did not know was that, at my day job, I prosecute property and fraud cases for the county. I flagged the towing contract and her calls with our fraud and code enforcement units and then waited. A city council liaison proposed a community information night at our clubhouse. Karen jumped at it, sending out a smug email about delinquent owners being addressed. I circled the date on my calendar like a court date and, for the first time in weeks, slept very well. The clubhouse was packed that night, smelling like pizza and nervous sweat. Karen stood at the front with her clipboard, ready to read names. Then she saw the police lieutenant, the county investigator, and the council liaison sitting in a row. Her smile froze halfway. Before she could start, the liaison asked me, loud enough for the back row, to state my job. My voice shook for 1 second, then settled. I said I am an assistant county prosecutor assigned to property cases. Every head turned. Phones came up. The investigator set my binder on the table and plugged his laptop into the projector. On the screen he showed the early towing contract, the fake vote minutes, and the plat map proving the Cul De Sac was common area, not her private kingdom. Then the lieutenant played audio from the non-emergency line, Karen calling my parked car suspicious at 4:27 a.m. again and again. People gasped, then started laughing. The lieutenant explained in plain words that the police are not her private security and she had no authority to seize vehicles without proper process or a court order. The investigator stacked 9 written complaints from neighbors about surprise fees and threats. He used the words misuse of authority and potential civil liability very slowly. The board, suddenly brave, voted on the spot to suspend her as president and hire an outside management company while the county and city finished their review. The room actually cheered. My nervous neighbor laughed into his phone while recording. The tow company called me the next morning and offered to release my car with every fee cancelled. My Honda came home to its usual spot in the Cul De Sac like nothing had happened. Now Karen still lives here, but she walks her dog with her eyes on the ground instead of scanning driveways. The new interim board sent a short letter in simple language, apologizing and inviting everyone to see the books. My older neighbor brought me cookies and said thank you for standing up when the rest of us were scared. I just told her this is what happens when bullies forget the law applies to them too. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.